The threshold of tomorrow. The key felt heavy in Akito's hand, a small piece of metal that unlocked a brand new world. As he pushed open the door to his studio apartment, the scent of fresh paint and cardboard boxes greeted him. He was finally on his own, standing at the starting line of his college life. The silence was a bit startling, but the possibilities felt endless. He dropped his backpack onto the hardwood floor and took a deep breath of independence. The first morning was a rude awakening. Instead of his mother's voice and the smell of breakfast, Akito was jolted awake by the aggressive blare of 3 different phone alarms. He fumbled in the tangle of his duvet, realizing he had stayed up way too late organizing his bookshelves. Being an adult meant no one was going to pull the covers off him. He had to choose to get up or risk missing his very first lecture. Survival, Akito realized, required more than just willpower. It required calories. He stood in his tiny kitchenette, staring intensely at a recipe on his phone. He had never realized how many steps went into a simple vegetable stir-fry. As the oil hissed and a cloud of spicy smoke rose from the pan, he scrambled to turn on the vent. Cooking for one was turning out to be a high-stakes contact sport. A knock at the door saved him from his culinary disaster. It was Ren, a sophomore who lived in the unit across the hall. Ren leaned against the doorframe with a knowing smirk, holding a bottle of soy sauce. He had heard the smoke alarm beep and figured the newcomer might need a little guidance. Ren offered a few tips on heat management, his easygoing nature making the daunting task of adulting seem a little more manageable. College life was a whirlwind of heavy textbooks and winding campus paths. Akito spent his afternoons navigating the massive library, trying to find a balance between his core engineering classes and the social clubs that beckoned from every corner. The sheer volume of information was like a tidal wave, and for the first time, he was the only person responsible for keeping his head above water. Then came the great laundry disaster. Akito had underestimated the power of a single red sock. As he pulled his laundry from the communal dryer in the basement, he stared in horror at what used to be a crisp white button-down for his internship interview. It was now a vibrant, undeniable shade of bubblegum pink. He slumped against the machine, realizing that some lessons were learned the hard way and in full color. Midnight found Akito hunched over his desk, illuminated only by the glow of a desk lamp and his laptop screen. He had a midterm in 8 hours, a pile of laundry to fold, and a budget spreadsheet that stubbornly refused to balance. The freedom of living alone came with the heavy price of time management. He rubbed his tired eyes, realizing that being an adult wasn't about doing everything perfectly, but about deciding what mattered most in the moment. A few days later, Akito ran into Ren at the local supermarket. Akito was staring blankly at a wall of different laundry detergents, looking completely lost. Ren chuckled and steered him toward the bulk section, showing him how to compare unit prices and which brands actually worked. They spent the next hour walking the aisles, with Ren passing down the sacred knowledge of discount stickers and meal prepping. By the end of the first month, the apartment started to feel like a home rather than a storage unit. Akito stood in his kitchen, confidently dicing onions. He wasn't making a 5-star meal, but the rice was fluffy, the chicken was seasoned, and nothing was on fire. He set the table for one, turned on some music, and felt a quiet surge of pride. He was figuring it out, one meal and one load of laundry at a time. As the sun set over the city, Akito sat on his small balcony, looking out at the lights of the campus in the distance. He pulled out his phone to call home, not to ask for help, but to share a funny story about his pink shirt. He realized that moving out didn't mean leaving his family behind. It meant growing into someone they could be proud of. He was an adult now, not because he had all the answers, but because he wasn't afraid to keep learning.